Welcome back. Holy crap. We are back with season 2.
I can't believe how quickly that break has gone by. Oh my God. Is it just me or did the summer just whiz by?
I blinked and now it's cold.
There you go. You blinked and we're back.
I blinked and I'm back. Hey, what did you do on our break?
Not much. Pretty
Nothing.
much vegged.
Yeah, you just did nothing, sat on the couch.
Oh my God, if you've been following me on social media at all, you can see that we're quite busy with this new build. Oh my God, I've had my fingers in just about every piece of that project. But it's been a lot of fun. Oh my God.
No kidding.
But early mornings and late nights.
It's going to be a beautiful building.
Yeah. Some of the finishing touches, the drop ceilings are coming into the office and flooring is being installed. And
amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I was involved in pretty much every part of it all summer and rolled my sleeves up, did a pile of painting and you name it.
That's amazing.
What about you, buddy?
What did I do? Actually, well, I don't want to embarrass you, but I actually built 2 buildings this summer. No, you know what? At the end of last season, I said I'd probably work through the summer, and that's exactly what I did. We had some, exciting things happen with Hepburn Productions over the summer, and it's going to lead into a pretty great year for us. My daughter, who's an actor, she took me away from work for a little bit because I have to be on set with her. She actually shot 2 productions this summer. One was a TV Christmas movie called 'Twas the Text Before Christmas. And that comes out sometime, I think, in October or November, which is pretty cool. Trevor Donovan and Mare Patterson are in it. And it's a cute little, Christmas TV movie. She also shot a big Canadian production, but I'm not allowed to say what it is until it comes out. But it was pretty exciting to see her, kind of a proud dad moment type thing when seeing her on set and doing her thing. And and I'm still involved in the industry as well. I was doing a lot of writing this summer on a new series I'm developing, and it kind of got some legs over the summer. So that was pretty exciting.
Some nice legs, I hope.
Yeah, sexy legs. But yeah, you know what? One thing happened this summer that I'm still thinking about.
Okay.
So me and my wife, we know this couple, and we got invited to a nude beach. And it's nothing sexual. It's literally just a nude beach. People like to sunbathe nude, right?
Including myself.
Yeah. And it's sadly we had plans, but at the same time, it got me wondering.
I think Erin had plans because she didn't want to go.
Maybe.
Pretty sure you were open. Pretty sure you were available.
No, seriously, she was willing to go. Just we had other commitments, but it got me thinking, the whole get naked thing. There was 2 things that I was thinking about when we first got invited, and I was like, oh, can we go? And the first thing is I'm like, we would have to meet the couple there because they live at the other end of the city, and we would meet kind of in the middle. And I'm like, what do you do in a nude beach when you, I know when I go to a regular beach and I'm looking for somebody, I'm looking around. I'm like, oh, is that them over there? No. How do you do that without looking at people's junk?
Yeah, that's when you put those mirrored sunglasses on.
Exactly. And
that
then
awkward moment when you're pretending to look at your watch because your friend that you're meeting up with is late.
Exactly. And the other thing that I was thinking about is I'm like, me and my wife are both super pale. We burn so easy.
You are whitey. You're the ultimate whitey.
And my wife's first thing was, if we do go to this beach, she actually sunscreen sometimes doesn't work on her or give her a rash. So she wears like sun protective clothing, and she can't do that on a nude beach. She'll look like a narc.
Skin colored swimsuit.
But then I thought, I'm like, you know what? I would totally embrace it. But then I started thinking, I always burn on the top of my head. And I'm like,
which head?
Yeah. But do people wear hats at a nude beach? Because doesn't that
I don't know. I've never been, so I don't know.
I know, that's what I was thinking about. Do you wear a hat at a nude beach? If you're using it,
I would.
But why do you need to? You're already embraced the fact that you're going to get sun everywhere on your body and you're going to prevent the top of your head. Doesn't make sense.
I would want to be able to cut the glare from the sun so I could see better.
Oh, see, that's good thinking. I never thought of that. I'm going to have to go to the nude beach now.
Yeah. Let me know how that works out.
Yeah, I can barely wait.
Yeah.
This is Taming the Hustle.
Or something of the sorts.
We're back, baby.
Yeah.
Everybody wants a piece of me. I am a lonesome man making history. They say we're all just raindrops in a stream.
so great being back.
Oh,
Man.
no kidding.
With this renovation project, it's been so busy. I feel like I haven't seen you at all.
I haven't seen you. I forgot what you looked like.
What's your last name again?
Yeah, you're not 6'6". That's weird. But
Yeah.
you still look good.
And I'm getting old though. I'll tell you what, this is the oldest I've ever been.
Yeah, me too. I was younger yesterday.
Oh God. So listen, I want to start. You know, I'd love to start the season by talking about habits on how to grow your wealth.
Yes. Good. Those are good habits.
Well, those are things that, you know, we sit around a campfire having cocktails or whatever, even around the dinner table. These are conversations that come up. It's as nerdy as we are.
Yeah.
And just to kind of set the stage, though, there's a couple of things I just want to point out. And this is just going back to nearly 25 years in experience of me doing this day in and day out is like, what is wealth to you, right? Is it monetary?
Yeah.
Is it experience? Is it family wealth? You know, having time spent with family? Is it traveling the world or is it monetary? And what kind of wealth when you speak of finances, right?
Yeah.
Are you looking at building a portfolio of real estate so that you can generate some rental income? Or are you looking at having a pile of investments so that you can retire early and travel the world? Are you looking at building an empire where it's going to be multi-generational, where you're going to pass on wealth to your kids and grandkids? Or is your wealth just the ability to have the financial freedom to just keep doing what you're doing? And that might just be sitting in a canoe with a fishing rod, and all you have to do is have money for food and a can of worms.
Yeah. The
Right?
whole live well today while planning to live well tomorrow.
Absolutely. And the other thing before we get into habits is wealth is relative, right? We've had this
Mhm.
conversation like a million times. Is a person that has $500,000 in investments could be a very wealthy person in their mind because, you know, if they've worked a minimum wage job in retail or in the restaurant business their entire lives, 500,000 is probably more than enough that they're ever going to need to fund their current lifestyle.
Yeah.
Whereas we have clients that have net worths of 5, 6, 10 million, that's not enough,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because your lifestyle is more expensive. So that's all relative. You know, it's if you're not looking at buying a Ferrari, your need for wealth is a lot different, right? But the habits are all the same.
Yeah. True.
So the first one for me, from experience and observation, is put your friggin' money to work, right?
Yes.
If you're genuinely a do-it-yourselfer, well, get your shit together. And if you're not, having a plan of attacking, working with someone is very, very important because you need some sort of direction. But what I mean by putting your money to work, Darryl, is so often we see clients with like 200,000, $500,000 sitting in a bank account. Can you imagine having
That is crazy.
400,000 in a bank account doing nothing?
Yeah. You might as well put it under your mattress.
Yeah. Inflation alone, the 100-year history is like 3%.
Yeah. It's
Right. So
crazy.
you're in fact losing 3% by having it sit in the bank account.
Yeah.
So putting your money to work is very, very important. So having a clear plan, having a clear vision of what wealth means to you and what your goals are, and then putting that money to work.
You work with my kids, and they even do this at their age of being teenagers.
That's amazing as a parent that you've put them in front of me for them to start thinking and having, you know, they don't have to be financially savvy, but if they have a thorough understanding and they recognize the importance of having a plan, man, that's going to be a fucking game changer for them.
No different with my own kids than it is with any other adult. When I told my kids that they were going to meet with you and they agreed and they were like, and they sat through that first meeting with you and they were kind of like, this is, you could tell they glazed over. They're like, kind of boring. What am I getting out of this?
By the end, they were like a deer in a headlight, right?
Exactly. Just like every other adult.
100%.
And that's how it works. And then now that they started investing and we're getting the statements in the mail and they're seeing their money grow, like my son he starts calculating. Now he's sitting there with the calculator at 16 years old, figuring out when I'm 50 years old, what could that be based on 3%, 4%? What if it was only 2.5%?
Oh, man.
How great is that as a 16-year-old?
That's music to my ears, man. That is my first point, is putting your money to work.
Yeah.
And that proof is in the pudding right there.
And adults are no different. They're bored. They don't want to do it. They're like, well, I don't even know what I'm talking about when I go see a financial advisor, right?
It is is crazy. Whether like you're just a regular Joe Blow with a pension and a couple of investments, an RSP, TFSA, whatever, regular mortgage, just a regular Joe, or someone who's running a multi-million-dollar business, how often do we see that they get caught up in just their regular day-to-day lives that they forget to look after their finances, man?
Exactly.
Like, put your money to work.
Yeah.
It is so important to get a grip on your finances that is how you're going to grow your wealth.
Exactly.
Second point. So when we look at a net worth statement, it's your assets and liabilities. It's pretty simple, right?
Yep.
It's simple math. So in order to grow your net worth, debt is healthy, a certain amount, and the right kind of debt is healthy.
Okay.
Right? That gives you the ability to buy a home, because who can buy a home cash now? Like my dad bought his first home for I think it was $5,000 and he paid cash for it. And then he just renovated it and he put some additions on it and stuff. But I mean, that doesn't happen today. So you need some form of debt for the most part. And growing your business as a business owner, debt is useful to help grow your business.
100%.
But with time, though, you can't continue to rack up debt. The more money you make, you have more debt. At some point, you have to close that gap where you're going to reduce the amount of debt.
Exactly.
And what we really often see is, let's say a person has 3 forms of debt. They have like a mortgage, they have a line of credit, and they have a couple of credit cards. Really, really often we'll see them focus on the debt that has the highest monthly payment, because in their mind, they're trying to free up the most expensive debt.
Exactly.
So that they can free up cash flow. Well, that does 2 things. Once that debt is paid, you now get accustomed to a more expensive lifestyle, which is going to be more difficult to replace at some point in time when you want to retire. But more importantly, we forget about the interest rate. You should be really focusing on the debt that is the highest interest rate, likely
100%.
your credit cards, so that you're not drowning in debt and just paying the man instead of actually paying off the principal.
It's a vicious cycle.
Yeah. So pay attention and put your money to work. That is very, very important. And the second thing is control your debt and be mindful of how you're repaying your debt. Have a plan of attack and repay the debt with the highest interest rate first, so you pay less debt, repay the debt more quickly, and you end up with more money in your pocket, hence growing your wealth.
Exactly. You and I had this conversation long ago where we had credit card debt, which was, X amount of dollars, and we had a loan that was X amount of dollars, which was lower than the credit card debt and a lower interest rate. I remember having this chat because I had told you that we're going to pay off the loan first, which was the lower interest, and it was a smaller amount, just to get it off the books. And you had said, like, how long is that going to take you to pay off? And I said, I don't know, 6-7 months. And then you did the calculation. You're like, if you put that down on your credit card because it's a higher interest, the money that you're actually putting in is a lot more. You're saving yourself dollars.
Yeah. Yeah. You're looking at thousands likely. Like, it's so impactful. But people don't even think about it. It's crazy. It's mind-boggling, really.
Yeah, I know.
That's why they have to tune into our podcast, so they can get a whole bunch of great pointers so they can grow their wealth.
This is why, you see, we had those conversations in the past, but now I feel awkward bringing up stupid things to you. So I did a podcast so you could just teach
There you go. Well, these are all things we've spoken of before. I mean, it's not rocket science. It's just people don't do it.
Yeah, exactly.
And the third thing, I mean, like, we could talk about this all day long. I mean, there's pointers, and that's why we created this podcast, so we could share some of our ideas and, some of the experience that we have of being in this business. But the third thing, which we've brought up multiple times since we started this podcast, is live below your means.
Yes.
Right? Because if you're spending everything and you're living paycheck to paycheck, you are not growing your wealth.
No.
Right? Because your lifestyle is costing you exactly what you're earning.
Yeah.
And if you're spending more, you're growing your debt. So forget point 2 that I mentioned already.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
So live below your means. And that's not just for individuals. That goes for a business owner too.
Yeah.
There is no bragging rights in saying, I make $5 million a year, right? Because if your business is earning $5 million a year, but it's spending $5.2 million, you're fucked.
Exactly.
But that happens, Darryl. It's crazy.
All the time.
You'll see like a trades company that buys up like a whole bunch of equipment, and they have like service vehicles. And it's almost like the mentality is, if I build it, they will come, right? And if I'm monstrous and I have a bunch of vehicles out there and I have an enormous amount of staff, that everything will come together. But you have to build the building blocks, right? You
Yeah,
have to grow
exactly.
proportionately to the income that you're bringing in. And you might have an off year. I mean, that's not unusual. But for the most part, you have to earn more than what you're spending so
Mhm.
that you have something left over to actually grow your wealth. I mean, I can't stress how simple that is, but
No kidding.
how difficult it is for people to actually accomplish that.
It's the whole keeping up with the Joneses thing. We've talked about it.
100%.
Yeah.
If that is the one takeaway about how to best grow your wealth is to live below your means.
Mhm.
You don't have to, it doesn't mean you have to live off friggin' hot dogs your entire life. It just means have a plan of attack, spend less than you make, and put your leftover to really good use, and you're going to grow your wealth.
I do like hot dogs, though.
Oh, yeah. If they were healthy for you, hot
I
dogs
know.
and craft dinners, seriously, I don't know if it's like a comfort food from when I was growing up because we didn't have a pot to piss in. But oh my God, just a plain hot dog
Yeah.
boiled in water with
Oh, yeah.
fucking ketchup, the cheapest bun that exists,
Exactly.
Wonder Bread, and fucking craft dinner. Mm. If I
That's
had $1
growing your
million,
wealth.
I
You would-
wouldn't have to eat craft dinner,
That's right.
but I
you
would eat craft dinner. Oh my God, it's so great to be back, buddy. I
It's
missed you.
awesome. I missed you too. Listen, speaking of being back, we'll be back in a few seconds.
You mean I get a break?
You get a break.
I haven't had a break since the last podcast.
Let's have a break.
Thank you.
If this summer taught us anything, it's that golfers try to avoid playing with their financial planner. Because he might be an expert with numbers, but when it comes to golf, he's always in the rough.
Well, I prefer numbers in the positive, not the negative. Hashtag call René of St. Cyr and Associates.
How was that break?
Oh, I feel re-energized. It's crazy.
You know what? That one was only about 15 seconds. And that's how long our summer break felt too.
Yeah, no
It was about
kidding.
that long.
Oh my God. It's crazy the amount of time I spent in that building. But it's going to be very, very nice though. I mean, it's really coming
You're getting
along.
so close.
We're so stoked. Our
Nice.
clients are excited for us. People are buzzing about it. And our team is so excited for the move.
No
and
kidding.
It's really all coming together. So, the 5 a.m. Brush and paint roller in hand is going to be all worth it, I'm sure.
No kidding. Hey, listen, I want to talk about some marketing stuff. Big surprise. Big surprise.
What's that? Marketing.
I want to go back to the whole finance thing and I want to talk marketing budgets.
Okay.
There's the regular traditional, marketing budgets where people include things like print, which is like flyers, magazine ads, broadcast, like TV, radio, podcast sponsorships, by the way. That's in broadcast. Outdoor stuff like billboards and stuff like that, events and sponsorship. But that's all the shit you can find on Google. If you literally type into Google marketing budget, those are the things that are going to come up. As much as those things are really important to your budget, the things that get missed are those things that I constantly preach about, thinking outside the box. And you have to do that with your marketing budget as well. So that's kind of what I wanted to touch on today. You need to be creative and unconventional sometimes with your marketing budget to make your business work. It's 2023 and you have to make the most of your available resources, right? And we talk about this all the time.
Absolutely.
And it's really breaking away from those traditional things and connecting with your target audience. Like that shit helps you achieve your marketing goals.
The way we run our business is ever changing, right?
No kidding.
The demand, our clientele is changing. The whole landscape is always moving parts, right? Why would you think that, if you set your marketing strategy in stone, that you don't have to rethink, your budget? That'd be crazy.
Exactly. And if you don't adapt, you die. It's simple.
100%.
I just want to talk about a couple things here because I think it's important and people forget that this is part of your marketing budget. And I go through this with clients all the time where we'll pitch an idea and they're like, oh, well, we don't really have the money for that. And I'll say, but hold on, you said your marketing budget is X amount of dollars every year. So that falls into the marketing end of things, even though it doesn't seem like it at the time, right? So the one, and we've done this with you many, many times, and it's partnerships or cross promotions.
Yeah.
Those are huge.
So powerful.
Yeah. And it's like collaborating with complementary brands or businesses or co-create content. We've done this with radio ads to run joint promotions, right? So this can help you tap into new audiences and share resources and, for your marketing efforts. But everyone is afraid to do it. And I don't know why. I have yet to crack that code, why they're afraid. I think they think that the other business might steal their business or talk bad about it. I don't know what it is.
Even for myself, when we had first brainstormed and you had made some recommendations, when I first reached out to some of our community partners, you kind of get looked at funny a little bit because it is a little unorthodox.
Yeah.
But once they got involved and they saw the outcome, it was like, oh my God, people like, this is fucking amazing.
Yeah. Like, let's say you're a local brewery, okay? And all you want to do is get recognized. And, we have them a lot in my area, and I see them sit on their hands and they'll put out an ad on social media, and it's like, that's not enough. And I always think like restaurants, obviously for beer is a great collab, but what about a yoga studio? That's thinking outside the box, right?
For sure.
And it's like, maybe it's a yoga and beer night every Wednesday at your brewery, or maybe it's having the local mom and pop bookstore get a liquor license. And here's where I say that's part of your marketing budget. You go to the bookstore that's very popular. It's not a big brand, and you do the work. You go see that mom and pop and you say, I'm going to do the work. I'm going to get you a liquor license. And if I do all that and I pay for the liquor license for this place, we sign a contract for the next 5 years that my beer is served in your bookstore exclusively. No other beer.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. Actually, in our office, we work with Underground Brewing, and we carry all of their beer in our office. And that's what we serve to our clients when we want to give them a cold one.
Yeah.
It's amazing to work with partnerships in the community like that.
Exactly.
It's fun to fucking build relationships and to do shit with other people. It's all about helping each other out, man. It's fucking amazing. It's powerful.
And that's part of your marketing budget.
Yeah.
The next thing I want to talk about is guerrilla marketing. And I know we've heard this term and there's many different kind of definitions, but it just means unconventional, kind of aggressive marketing. And I don't really see it as aggressive. I see it as like you're executing unconventional, attention grabbing type marketing campaigns, right? That surprise your audience. And guerrilla marketing tactics can be a low cost, but highly impactful. And they generate so much buzz. And for example, let's go back to the yoga studio. If you're a yoga studio and all of a sudden you start introducing, hey, we're having beer nights, yoga and beer or yoga and wine, whatever it is, it's just that, whoa, I never thought of that. I wouldn't put yoga, like healthy yoga, together with having some beer.
Doesn't mean you're having a 12-pack of beer.
Exactly.
You can have 1 or 2 beers.
Exactly.
It's a social thing.
That's the thing. It's like it's a social thing. You're just getting your body moving. You're having a brew. And that's part of guerrilla marketing, right? And that's, again, putting that in your marketing budget. Just like you're in your office that you have beer. That's what buying that beer is part of your marketing budget. It's not part of your food costs, right? It's marketing. You're marketing because you're bringing people in. They know they can sit there and have a beer with you.
A great beer.
But at the same time, you're also helping a community partner, which again, in turn, that brewery knows that you serve their beer exclusively in your place. And what do they do when someone starts talking financials? What do you think someone at the brewery is going to say? I know a guy. Do you have a good financial planner? Because I know somebody.
I know a guy who knows a guy.
I know a guy who knows a guy. Listen, the next one is focusing on customer experience. And I preach the shit out of this. You know this.
Dude, it's all stuff like when we're talking about growing your wealth and having the right marketing budget and thinking outside the box. It's all no-brainer stuff, man.
Oh,
it's like,
no kidding.
I just can't believe that people are not able to see and execute these ideas. But I don't know. I guess thinking outside the box is harder for some people than others. I don't know.
Well, and you got to kind of put yourself in your customer's shoes, right? So like with this whole customer experience thing, like I once stayed at a hotel and it was like the greatest customer experience I've ever had anywhere. And I'll tell you why. It was because when I walked into the bathroom, I washed my hands, and I wiped my hands on the towel, and there's a little sign on the counter. And all the sign said was, if you love the soft feel of our towels, keep them. And that's all it said. And I was like, what the hell? So I went down to the desk and I said, I saw your sign says, if I love the soft feel of the towels, I can keep them. And the guy laughed, and there was one of the owners was in the back. And I said, that I work in marketing and I really like that. Like I thought, wow, what a big customer experience. I would love to take these towels home. They're so soft. And when I got talking to him, he said, people generally steal hotel towels all the time. So it's in our budget already that we have to replace those towels regularly. And he thought, well, you know what? We found these towels. They're a good price and they're cheap to replace. They're super soft. Everyone loves them. Everybody always comments on them. So he charges a little more on the room now to recoup that cost. So he kind of almost breaks even, and he gives them away. He tells people, I'm giving you a gift. How many hotels have you went to where you're getting a gift that you can take home? You're not.
Amazing. Yeah. And imagine if it was on a smaller scale in a smaller community where
Yeah.
you're working with those community partners. If that community partner happened to be a company that fabricates
Oh, no
or
kidding.
distributes, sells
Yeah.
towels, you
Yeah.
can push their brand on that little sign saying, this is a Hepburn Productions towel.
It could be the local candle maker, the family who makes candles out of their garage. You put them in the rooms. You say, you like the smell of our candle? Take it.
Yeah, it's got the local candle maker's logo on it.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
It's all about customer experience. If you can make people feel like they're special, that's huge. And again, back to the marketing budget, put that shit in there. That guy put those towels in his marketing budget. He didn't put that budget of towels into general expenses. He put it into his marketing budget. Giving away towels is the marketing.
Amazing. And look at how nicely it ties in with cross marketing, right?
No kidding. So the last one I want to touch on is the whole localized marketing. And I kind of put these two together. I call it localized marketing and employee perks because this is a huge one for me. And I preach this. Any new client I have, I tell them all these types of things. And they always look at me like, you're nuts. I don't want to spend more money.
But you are nuts.
I am nuts. I want you to give your employees some perks. Let's say you, for example, there's a hairdresser in town that has the gift of gab. And you give your employees once a month, or maybe it's once every other month, you tell your employees during work hours, we're going to book you a haircut and it's on us. You don't worry about it. So once a month or every other month, whatever it is, they go and sit in this chair and you're not sending them with money. What you're doing is you're going to go to that hairdresser and you're going to say, I want to buy this for my employees. I want to make sure they book appointments. I'll prepay, no big deal. And you set it all up. And guess what? When they sit in that hairdresser's chair and they start chatting like they would, because we all engage, guess what happens? It's that human connection, that humanizing factor that I preach the shit out of. Who do you think that hairdresser is going to promote when the next person in her chair says, my husband lost his job? Who do we turn to? I don't know what to do with our investments. Do we pull money out? All those conversations happen in a hairdresser's chair. They happen at the local bar. They happen with your butcher, right? You have those conversations. So if you treat your employees with a little extra perk, maybe it's not hairdressing, maybe it is the butcher shop. Once a month, you buy everyone a steak, but they have to go pick it up at the local butcher. I already paid for it. You go pick out your cut of meat. Now, all of a sudden, you're treating your employees better. You're bringing money into the community and you're making that community person, even though they don't know it, they now become a partner and they're going to market you because they feel appreciated by you. They feel like you're investing in their business. And why spend the money on a stupid mail flyer that someone's going to toss out? Why not put that money into your own employees? That in turn goes into the community.
1000%.
Think outside
and
the
we've
box.
had these conversations countless times on the podcast, is that you have to be genuine about it.
Oh, 100%.
If you're just going to buy a free haircut for your employee, but you don't give a fuck about them and you're just trying to, it's about them. It's the me, right? If you have a genuine interest and you care about your community, the people that work with or for you, you're going to make a difference and you're going to be successful, but it has to come from the heart.
Yeah.
At least I'm convinced.
No, 100%. And that's the thing. It's like everybody wants better value. Everyone wants better service. So as an owner of a business, I want you to put yourself in your customer's shoes, come up with what that is. What could you throw in your marketing budget that makes them feel that they're getting better service, that they're valued? I want you to figure that out, but then don't take that and say, that's my plan. I want you to workshop that plan. I want you to tell your friends and your mom and your sister and your brother and your uncle and your financial planner. I want you to tell them your idea for your business. That's the wow factor. Because you're going to tell them the wow factor, and they're going to be like, oh, that's not bad, but I still don't think you're thinking fully outside the box. What if you did this, this, and this? Eventually, you're going to put the idea together and you're going to put it in your marketing budget and you're going to be bigger and you're going to be better.
Brainstorming, baby. Let the creative juices flow. That's what it's all about.
We'll be right back.
René here from St. Cyr and Associates, and I think it's time we call Ryan.
No, I'm René, and it's call Liz.
René here. Maybe call Megan.
No matter what team member, you made the right call. Call René of St. Cyr and Associates.
And we're back. Can you imagine if we had a break and we came back and my voice is like this now?
It was a long break. I'm 85.
Yeah, my voice is deeper. That's because my balls dropped further.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Our maturity levels sure did not improve over the break.
Why would it? I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid.
Hey, listen, you spent your entire summer.
I'm always listening. You don't
Yeah,
even
I
have
know.
to say, hey, listen.
I know,
It's like
but
when
I like-
someone says, can I be honest? I'm like, fuck, man. I wish you were always honest and not even have to mention it. So you don't even have to say, hey, listen, I'm listening.
know.
I got a headset on and everything. I'm all yours, baby.
But see, that's the problem is you weren't all mine all summer. You've been working on this damn building.
Hey, listen.
And I've barely seen you. Oh, you just said, hey, listen. Way to go.
Okay, I'm listening.
Okay. You've been working on this building night and day. And I just wanted to talk about, because it took time away from me. I won't lie. I needed a little
Don't be
René
jealous.
time this summer. I got some, but I didn't get enough. And I want to talk about remodel, new builds, whatever you want to call it. I would like to share some DIY tips because I built my house. You know, it was a home builder, but I was a picky son of a bitch who said, we're changing the
that's true.
plans.
That's true. Yeah, you didn't
You know?
frame your fucking house. Come on, let's be real.
No.
Let's be honest with everyone.
No, I had a home builder build it. But
you were a picky son of a bitch.
the plans came back. I looked at them. I said, we're going to remove this wall. We're going to move this wall here. We're going to take out a door here. We're going to move the sinks over there. I was a pain in the ass. And watching you go through this, and we've talked about stuff, and I want to give tips to people. If you're remodeling, if you're doing a new build, what are things that you know, I look back now, it's 16 years. There are things I wish I would have did differently.
Well, I just want to start by saying, very much like financial planning, there's certain things you shouldn't do yourself.
Correct.
So don't bite off more than you can chew.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
So there are certain things that are meant to be left to the professionals, and those
Yep.
are the things that you don't do.
Exactly.
And the doing it yourself part is two things. Some people do it just because they want to save money.
Yep.
But for myself, like, I really enjoy this stuff. And I've learned so much through this project, and working
No
with the
kidding.
general contractors and working with trades. Like, I've learned a mountain of things with this project. So for me, like, it's kind of funny you suggested we have this topic when we were chatting, because my mother sends me a little gif or a little comment pretty much every morning. That's like how she starts her day, is she sends a little note to all her kids, which is really sweet.
You guys don't have lunch bags anymore. You can't write on.
No, that's right.
No, have a good day, sweetie.
yeah, that's right. So I'm going to read this one that she sent, and she says, this is exactly you and how you look at things and how you execute things.
Nice.
And she texts a gift that says, the secret of getting started is breaking your complex, overwhelming tasks into small, manageable tasks, and then waste no time starting on the first one.
Yes.
Right? So then be prepared.
Yeah.
You know, this is just, I'm not an expert, man. I'm a financial planner, and that I'm an expert at. But do it yourself. You know what? I'm very commonsensical. At least I think I am. So it allows me to understand tasks at hand. But if you can dissect your to-do list and get very organized on what needs to get done and in what order.
Yeah. Plan ahead, baby.
Then you do your painting, right?
Yeah.
You hang your drywall. You just do it. You do your insulation. You hang your drywall. It's so much fun to do some of the do-it-yourself projects.
For sure.
My advice is, don't bite off more than you can chew, and leave some of the work for the professionals that need to be left to the professionals. And the second thing is, just be organized and figure out what needs to get done in what order, and then just take on one little task at a time so that it's manageable and that you can learn too. Like, I'm YouTubing shit. I'm asking people, I'm like, how would you do this? What tool would I need?
Yeah.
Like, there's been instances where I was like, okay, do I hire someone to do it, or I genuinely want to learn how to do this? I'm going to buy the tool and I'm going to do it myself. So then you end up with a new tool, and it costs you less money. So you end up paying for the tool, essentially.
Exactly.
Right. And then all the shit, like, I can't plaster. I can't tape and plaster at all.
That's an art form.
It's an art form. I wouldn't even attempt it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, the professionals have to do that because it's going to make this project look like shit.
Exactly.
I don't do tile work.
Yeah.
I fucking hate tile work.
Yeah.
As much as I love math, I don't like to calculate where I need to start with my tile.
Yeah.
I don't like to grout. Like, none of that appeals to me.
Yeah, same.
That is another form of art. I'm like, you guys fucking do that. But the ones that I want to do, or the ones that I'm really interested in learning to do, just take it little piece at a time and focus on that task at hand and learn while you do it. Ask people for advice. Ask people for help if needed.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And use the World Wide Web to your advantage. There's so much shit out there.
Kidding.
It's crazy. With Pinterest and Google and YouTube and just to name a few, right?
Yeah. One thing you did that really, I did this a little bit when we were redoing our basement, was cleaning the workspace for the workers.
Yeah.
It's a huge thing. And it doesn't seem like it's that big of a deal because you're like, oh, they'll clean up. Yes, they're there to build your shit. They are going to clean up the work site. But if you want to keep the dust down, if you want to keep everything nice, when the workers were in my basement, they'd come in every morning and it looked like it was a clean slate for them. And they were like energized. It energized them to see
They
that it's clean.
appreciate the
Oh,
shit out of that.
No kidding. And they got right to work. There was no like, oh, you know what? We'll pick that up in the morning. No, it was already done. They came back and they got to work right away, which brings your project a little closer to realization, right?
I would clean up, and I still do every night after their day's end.
Yeah.
They
Nice.
come in the next day, everything is organized, everything is picked up. It's so appreciated. And even doing it myself,
Yeah.
I hate leaving a mess at the end of the day. So even if I'm painting till 10 o'clock at night and I'm like, I just want to shower, I want a quick bite to eat, maybe a glass of wine, I want to get my ass to bed because I know I'm back at it at 5 tomorrow morning. I still take that 15 minutes to clean everything up, tidy up, empty the garbage bin, put a new garbage bag in, just so that when you come in, you're ready to be productive. You've got a fresh mind, you've got some energy. So important. But yeah, doing it for your crew, if you've got a crew on, it's very appreciated.
So I want to just give 3 quick tips of things when I built my home that I wish I would have took into consideration.
Okay.
Because I think things get left off. And the first was storage space.
Yep.
We built 3,500 square feet of home and there is zero storage space. Like simple things like bed sheets and towels. Like, where do I put those towels that I got for free from that hotel? Right?
Yeah. You
There's
stole
nowhere.
them for nothing.
Exactly. I got nowhere to put them. The other
It's
thing,
true. It's true though, because we were mindful of that too, because we're very minimalists by nature, right? So like, I just want like a nice little suspended vanity in my bathroom.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want a ton of shit. I don't want big cabinets. I don't want stuff everywhere.
Oh, yeah. And you've taken into consideration for things like, which again, my house, we didn't take into consideration. Where do you put the broom? Where do you put the Dyson?
Yep.
Right. And it's like little things like that you don't think about. You look at this floor plan and you're like, oh, it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect.
I recommend a Dyson closet.
Oh, yeah. You have to have
It was
one.
in the plans right from the beginning.
Yeah.
Because the last thing you want is a brand new build or a new renovation and you've got a fucking vacuum plugged into the wall, right?
Oh, I know.
It's an eyesore. It's ugly.
100%. The other thing is, this is my biggest tip I'm going to give, is leave room for growing technology.
Yeah.
And by that, I mean, I know everything's getting wireless, but still hardwire is the only true way to keep everything consistent and fast and all that. Wireless is getting better, but there's still times where it's, we have a theater in our house. There's no way I'm just relying on Wi-Fi.
And to that point, Darryl, by building that sound room for your theater, you put in extra insulation, you put thicker drywall.
Yeah.
That the further away you walk into different rooms, the less signal you have, right?
Oh,
you
100%.
need to run
If I could do it all over, we have our modem sitting in our dining room because that's the best place for it.
I built a booster on every level so that even if you're hardwired in, because we have hardwired stations, for lack of better word, but I hardwired a booster on all floors, knowing that you had issues with insulated walls and having proper reception. So yeah, no kidding, man.
And like when we built this house,
and buy the best. I know it's a little more expensive, but don't go Cat 5 when Cat 6 is available.
Exactly.
And if there was a Cat 7, I would have gone to Cat 7.
Well, and that leads to this point of in my house. And again, 16 years ago, I did this. If I would have thought about it clearer, I would have did a little differently, but I have conduit that runs from my basement to my attic. I have 3 empty conduits that I put in. And the builder was like, why are we putting this in? You're not putting anything in it? I said, it's for future. I don't know what I'm going to run later or what I'll need. Had I known then what I know now, I would have ran conduit to certain rooms as well.
Yeah.
To the living room, to my office, instead of just to the attic, because I still got to snake things along. But if I would have did it right, I would have had those. And if you never use them, oh well, it's a little extra cash. But the moment you do need it, and we've used ours, that conduit that goes to the attic, it is a game changer.
Yeah, I 100% agree. One of the things that our plumber recommended is that we run an extra line to our sink for reverse osmosis if we decided or we found out that the quality of the water coming into the building wasn't to our standards for drinking.
Wow.
Because I didn't want to go through the expense of the reverse osmosis. I'm like, I don't really think we need it right at this point.
Yeah,
We've
yeah.
got pretty good water up north here. But he says, but what if you find that, once you're settled in, that you do want it?
Yeah,
so all
yeah.
they did is they ran an extra line and it's
Yeah.
just sitting there plugged, right? They capped it.
Future-proof.
Yeah. So it's just in case for the extra, I don't know, maybe $50 in extra plastic piping.
I honestly, when you first said the plumber suggested we get they're going to say poop knife. Have you heard of these?
No,
Yeah. People have poop knives apparently.
that would sounds sharp.
So it took me a minute to figure out what the hell a poop knife is. Some people who use a little too much toilet paper or poop a little too much and it won't go down when you flush. This is in other countries. People in Canada do it too. They have a knife in their bathroom that they stab the poop and the toilet paper to break it up so it flushes. This is a
No
true thing.
way.
This is a true thing. I'm not lying. Google it
That
right
sounds
now.
a little far-fetched.
You can
I'm
buy
not
them on
Googling that
Amazon.
shit.
It's called the poop knife.
That sounds a little far-fetched to me.
I'm telling you. That's why I thought the plumber recommended that. I'm telling you, you Google it right now, you'll see poop knife. I actually saw on Instagram, and maybe this is another tip, but this one builder, he does this in all the homes. So in a bathroom, you got your bathroom fan on the ceiling, but he also puts one right behind the toilet. And they're connected. So when you turn on the fan, so if you take a stinky poop, when the next person comes in, they're not going to smell it because it just went right out.
That's genius.
It is pretty genius. I saved it in my favorites and I sent it to my wife.
Not that your poop ever stinks, but
No,
so you can give sound advice to your friends or your listeners.
That's all I'm saying. My shit don't stink. Hey, listen, thanks for joining us. It's great to be back. We got so many great episodes coming up. We got some great guests coming up. So stay tuned in. It's going to be great.
So great to be back. Thanks for listening, everyone.
It's season 2, baby.
Ciao.